Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Real talk. I know a lot of people are still reacting, reeling over this unthinkable thing that just recently happened yesterday. But I'm hoping everybody's doing good, and I'm hoping this show finds you in good spirits no matter what. Okay, we're here to talk about some things, get down to the nitty gritty, and there's some a presser that just recently happened just a few moments ago that I just kind of saw in the corner of my eye. Wanted to get a chance to share that with you guys because I think that there's some updates as far as the victims to this whole tragedy, which we are going to talk about. Of course, there has been some new info about this monster. Okay, his name has officially been out here. Everybody is now saying his name. Now everyone's calling him TMC. Okay, Thomas Matthew Crooks. All right, which we talked about late last night. But there was no full confirmation of it. But media has been running wild now with that name. So we are going to be talking about that as well. We're hearing some information about his house being raided and all that stuff. There's been so much information. And there's a crazy photo that I want to share with y'all that is just absolutely insane. Of course, we got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things I have questions on, and we're going to get into this thing very, very shortly. So please do me a favor, before we get into everything, before we hop all the way into this, do me this solid. Hit that like button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on Facebook or on any of these other platforms that we are live on right now. Be sure to hit that like button, please, and thank you. Of course, if you're watching on those other platforms, be sure to follow me on those platforms: Facebook, X/Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Go over there, follow me over there as well, okay? And also subscribe to this channel if you're watching on YouTube. Please and thank you. Crush that subscribe button. Go over to my secondary channel as well, because clips from these shows, because sometimes these shows get long, but there's big moments that happen during these long shows. I take those clips and I post them on the secondary channel. There's 2 of them already up from last night's 2 shows. A guy from was interviewed by the BBC, which was very interesting. We're probably going to take a trip down memory lane on that one in a little bit. And of course, the confirmation of this gunman being identified. So go over to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there. That'd be greatly appreciated. Do not forget to hit that join button down below. Support the channel. Become a member. Also, you can go check out Patreon. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. If you just want to support the channel even further, it's the ticker right down below me right now, going that way right now as we speak. There it is again. Boom. There it is. So go check it out. Okay, guys. All right. Getting all the preliminary crap out of the way, we got to get straight into this. As we already know, all right, former President Trump, there was an attempt on his life just yesterday. He was in a rally in Pennsylvania. He was in the middle of his speech talking about certain things, talking, and pointing at graphics on a jumbotron, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, shots are fired. Okay, he reacts. You can see in the video he reacts. Suddenly he feels something on the side of his head, right? And allegedly, he looks down, and he sees red, right? And then he drops to the ground. Secret Service hop in, hup. They cover him, and then they take him into his car, into his ride, and they drive off. But before he does that, he gets up. He, reassures the crowd that he's okay. Pumps his fist and says, "Fight, fight, fight." And then they shove him into his motorcade, and they drive off. Right now, this monster, has been. Well, they neutralized this gunman. This assailant. And of course, it has been a lot of reports about a name being dropped on this particular individual. We are going to be talking about that here in just a minute. There is a presser here. We are going to be looking at that in just a second. But I do want to share with you guys. We all saw the video, saw the photo, saw the video. I will be, in fact, I'm going to pull those up now so you guys can see the video, the moment when the shots were fired. Okay, I just want to share this with you guys real quick. Let's take a look at this.
You want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Okay. And that's part one. Obviously, as you can see, he was reacting pretty big, right? It was kind of like like it almost felt like he kind of looks down at his hand. He, right about here, he looks down and he's right around here. Okay. He sees red, right? And then all of a sudden, get down, get down, get down. So, of course, he gets down, right? And then, of course, Social Security, Secret Service comes in, grabs him, and whisks him off the stage, right? And he's, pumping his fist in the second part, which I'm going to show you guys here in a second. He trying to reassure everybody he's doing okay. Pumps his fist. He says, "Fight, fight," and then they whisk him off the stage, right? Now the thing is, though, aside from this happening, let's be honest, because of course there's been a lot of speculation, guys, and it's still running amok because people are sitting here going, this has got to be fake, this is fake, this is staged, so on and so forth. Well, I'm going to tell you what. All right, there's an individual that allegedly is the assailant. That assailant is no longer here. He was on top of a rooftop. There's accounts of him climbing that rooftop, climbing to the rooftop, to be exact. And eyewitnesses were reporting this to police, and police allegedly didn't do a doggone thing. That man has been neutralized. In fact, there are his unalived photo being circulating all over the internets right now. Proof positive showing that there was for real an assailant. And then let's not forget, if this was fake, instantly, all of us are logical, I'm assuming, right? Critical thinking, independent thinkers on this planet. We instantly go, if there were bullets whizzing around, they got to land somewhere. So where did they go? This assailant, this monster, pulled the trigger 7-8 times. You could hear it. It's one shot and then a cluster of shots. Okay? It's spread all over the internet right now. Instantly you go, okay, you see Trump do this and do this and drop down. So instantly you're going, where did the bullet go? If it whizzed by his head, if it just nicked him on his ear, where did the bullet go? If it was fake, we wouldn't have people who actually caught bullets. From my understanding, 3 people. There were 3 victims that were actually hit by these bullets. You got to remember, this monster was out there pointing, and just after the first shot, he just started shooting. He just started pulling the trigger. Where did those bullets go? If it was all fake news, if this was all staged, those bullets hit innocent bystanders, innocent rally supporters, innocent Trump supporters, innocent rally attendees, not doing anything but just cheering on Trump. Literally. So We got to remember, first and foremost, there were people that lost their lives at this particular tragedy. We have got to remember that. There's no way that this could be staged in that kind of fashion. Now, I do have some questions about a bunch of other things, which we are going to talk about in a second, but I wanted to show you guys this because this is some crazy stuff. Look at this. Let me blow this up for you guys. This is a photo that was actually taken by, if I'm correct, a photographer for the New York Times, if I'm correct. But that is allegedly the bullet being caught on film, on camera, passing by Trump. That's crazy, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Millimeters, centimeters, inches. Doesn't matter. Feet, not even feet. But I'm just saying, yeah, it's a really damn good camera, okay? Because apparently there's another photo of like literally a millisecond later of Trump actually like putting his hand up to his head, right? Okay? This is very close. Okay? Let's keep it a buck. And I know that I understand that, let's be real, okay? We have to be, please, ladies and germs, okay? We're all adults. We are all mature. All I ask is for you guys to be as mature as possible and understand that, hey, doesn't matter. This is not how you do things out here in these streets, okay? You just don't. You just don't do this, all right? You don't go and try to take somebody's life because you feel some type of way about how they politic or whatever, their policies, whatever it may be. This is not how you handle things. I'm just telling you right now. So if we can be respectful in the chat, that'll be greatly appreciated. All right? Because we are all adults. And at the end of the day, no one should be losing their lives at a rally. No one should be. No one should be. Okay? So with that being said, look at this. And this should be a wake-up call for all of us. Everyone's like, okay, people are now going, we got to be nicer to each other. Man, we should have been doing that a long-ass time ago. So it's time to wake up. Period. Doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you are on. It does not matter. We need to be better to each other. And let's not forget that this incident that happened is a tale as old as time. It's a tale as old as time, guys. We've heard this a million times. Now it's at a political rally. Before it's at schools. It's at malls. It's during the Chinese New Year. Okay? It's at outlet malls and stuff like that. Now it's at a political rally. So we've been here, done that. And let's not forget, the star of the show is, drum roll please, AR-15. What else is new? We've heard this and seen that a million times before, too. At some point, I'm hoping that there's a wake-up call. And this is a wake-up call for all of us. And I don't mean that this incites more negativity. Two wrongs do not make a right. So I hope on God's green earth that we look at this and mature the hell up. Because a lot of us out here are arguing and fighting with each other for years like kids, like children. And we could be better than that. I'm hoping that this does not embolden the wrong type of people. That's what I'm hoping it does not do. I'm hoping that this wakes us up and says, hey, we need to come together as a country. We need to come together as a people and understand that there's going to be people that want the country to go one way, and there's going to be people that want the country to be run another way. But we have to find a happy medium. I know that sounds very hippie-ish of me. Okay, I get it. But at the same time, this did not need to happen, period. There's also information about this individual, this Thomas Matthew Crooks, that is very, very interesting. That, like I said, I'm still waiting for confirmation on a lot of things because a lot of misinformation flies left and right, literally and metaphorically speaking, flies left and right, and we just don't know what is the full truth about the person himself. Because again, did he leave anything behind? Allegedly, his house is being raided right now as we speak, or was raided earlier today. I'm sorry. Did he leave a manifesto? Did he say anything that gave people any insight on what his real plans were? What was the motive here? Why did he do what he did here? I think we all want to know that, right? Then also, I understand that there is a troll. I guess it's a troll that was on, because I shared it on TikTok, on Instagram, not Instagram, I'm sorry, Twitter or X. And I even said, like, I was like, oh, wow. Like, could this actually be the dude? Okay. Could this actually be the dude? Because the guy's like, oh, yeah, I don't like Republicans and I don't like Trump, but you got the wrong guy. And I'm like, okay, did they just accidentally use the wrong photo of this guy? Or is this guy just trolling because he kind of, slightly resembles the actual guy? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. But all I know is that what happened here is a travesty. Okay. It's a dark day in our country, and we need to be better. We just do. Now, again, like I said, there's a lot to dissect. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot to talk about. So let's get into this presser really quick. And then, of course, I'll bring up some more information about the assailant and all that, because there's a lot more interesting information revolving around the monster who is behind the weapon. Mind you, I'll just pull this up one more again, because the photos that we have are not so great, but let me just share this with you guys anyway. One of them is this. This is Thomas Matthew Crooks. Some people are using his initials, TMC. Okay, this is TMC. This is the person who actually is the one who tried to take out Trump yesterday during his rally. Okay. Again, here's another photo of him as well that shows him graduating, okay, from high school, if I'm correct, because he's 20, so I'm assuming it's high school, okay, unless it's some technical college. I doubt it, okay, but he looks pretty young. He looks younger in this photo, but he was literally up on a building, a rooftop, literally taking aim. And what's interesting is that there's footage out here showing him up there taking aim. And audience member, the crowd, I'm sorry, not the audience members, but the crowd is sitting there speaking up. They're like, yo, there's somebody up there. You know what I mean? You hear it in these videos. And he's just sitting there chilling. No one did anything. No one did a damn thing. What the hell's going on here, guys? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna play this again. Just a quick trip down memory lane. Again, this is an interview from BBC, and it's interesting. BBC got the plug, though. All right, maybe it's the British accent. I don't know, but it's interesting that we got the information from this outlet, and the things that this guy's saying is wild. I'm not going to play the whole doggone thing, because if you want to see the whole thing, please go over to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Go check it out. I pulled it out of yesterday's show and put it on that channel so you guys can see it for yourselves. But this eyewitness says that this dude climbed up the building. They saw him with a long rifle. They notified law enforcement, and law enforcement did what? They didn't do a damn thing. So let's take a look at this video one more again.
Someone who was here, you weren't inside the event, nope, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw. So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, you know, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees out there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know. But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here?
That's the question I'd like to have answered as well. Don't worry, we got some things we're going to be getting into here in a second, because we got commentary from other political commentators or pundits as well that have some things to say about this. And, like I said, there are things that the certain political pundits I don't agree with, or, that I don't listen to very often, that kind of thing. But, hey, this is a moment where I agree. Like, I actually agree with them, because you hear this right here, that they saw somebody on the roof. They notified law enforcement and they did nothing. Why? Why didn't they do anything? Why was there a lack of competence, a lack of care for this situation? Doesn't matter if this was the perimeter, because you got to remember, as you can see right here, this person was 130 yards away, about a football field and a half, 1.5 football fields away from the president's podium. Okay? I know I rounded up, guys, but you get what I'm saying. All right? It's about a football field and a half away from the podium. You don't think that you could try to pick somebody off that far away? Haven't we seen American Sniper? Haven't we seen that movie? Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you guys need to go check out American Sniper. Okay. What's his name? Bradley Cooper is in it. All right. Clint Eastwood movie. Go check it out. Okay. It's literally about an American Sniper. Go check it out. It's a true story, but it's pretty wild that you got somebody who was that far away, and if Raven's correct, 148 yards away, tried to pick off the president, the former president of these United States. That's insane. Why wasn't there a perimeter check? Why wasn't there anybody out there checking that whole situation? Why wouldn't they listen to our ginger-haired friend here? Why would they not listen to our friend here? And the other friends that saw this guy bear crawl on a roof and getting ready to take aim. Why wasn't there any concern? To me, that makes no sense, guys. I'm gonna keep it playing real quick because I got something I got to play for you guys. Okay, before we go into this presser, because the presser's been done and is over with. I wanted to hop on to give you guys some updates and then give you guys this presser. But just let's hear a little bit more.
I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, I mean, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up
Hunter,
to
that's
him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
I no, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl.
I mean, listen, you see what I'm saying? Like, this is absolutely insane to me. And I'm not this conspiracy theorist. I'm not that kind of guy. I really am not. You know, I try to stay I try to steer onto the road of logic, right? And staying as much on facts as I possibly can. But when you hear an eyewitness literally say, hey, we saw this guy crawling up there. We notified 5-0. 5-0 didn't do a damn thing. I'm sorry, that's weird as hell to me. And then this is a failure on Secret Service. This is a failure on the law enforcement that was involved in this whole situation. Why didn't they look at this situation and see this as a problem? You got to remember, this is beyond just Trump now. This is Biden. This is any other presidential or any political leader, any political hopeful, right? This is bad because it means that there's holes in the system. Now, I know some people are looking at this and going, is this an inside job? Somebody believes that it could be an inside job. Hold on, let me just pull this up. Like Candace Owens, let's take a look at what she says about this situation.
You have got to be kidding me. Let me say something right now. Take this to the bank, okay? That person was allowed to scale that roof, okay? I am not some individual who's trying to assess situation and have never been around the president of the United States. While Trump was in office, okay, was around him a lot. And let me tell you something. The Secret Service, there is no person that can get around the perimeter of the Secret Service where Donald Trump is without them being aware of it. I am not kidding when I say that my husband once almost got shot by the Secret Service because he came down a staircase. I was speaking at the NRA, and he snaked in and came down. And they didn't know who he was. And they were like, freeze. Like, we will shoot you right now. So you're telling me that guy walked up and was trying to get the attention. The Secret Service saw him, and he's pointing, and he's saying, this guy's got a gun. This guy's got a gun. And they're pretending they don't know what's going on. I mean, am I crazy? Do you guys actually believe this was a failure in intelligence?
Now, let me just say this really quick. Okay, this is going into a little off the rails, like, you know, inside job type of thing. Now, I don't agree entirely with what she's saying here. I don't know if it's an inside job, okay? But I will say it's very weird. And I don't blame any person like Candace Owens and maybe some others that may look at this and go, wait a second. This is weird. That's odd. Remember, guys, come on. Like I said, we're all logical individuals here, okay? We're all forward-thinking individuals. We're all smart, okay? We all are. We all think for ourselves. We all can operate our bodies. We all can speak for the most part. You see what I'm saying? We all think. We all do critical thinking every single day. So we're all smart. So when we see something like this, hear from eyewitnesses, did I believe that eyewitness? Why would he go out of his way to run over to BBC and go, oh yeah, you know, I saw this guy, you know, bear crawling up there. Why would he make that stuff up? There's already video showing him up there while he was alive, before he even took his first shot. We're talking about TMC, right? Before he took his first shot. So all of us are logical people, logical thinking people. So understandably, I would instantly go, wait a second. That's weird. Why did this happen? Why didn't law enforcement take what they said seriously? If eyewitnesses went over to law enforcement and said, hey, there's a guy pointing a gun over there. There's a guy on the roof pointing a gun right there. What's going on? You don't think that people are going to automatically assume? You don't think that people are automatically going to assume that there's some sort of foul play here aside from, or something, something sinister, something wrong, something messed up is going on behind the scenes? So I'm not surprised that people are going to sit there and go, oh, this is an inside job. I'm not surprised. Do I think it's an inside job? No, I don't think so. I honestly think that this is just law enforcement, Secret Service, and any other, I don't know, CIA, FBI, all them that were involved in this situation did some very stupid, a sloppy job. A sloppy job. That's what I honestly think. Very, very sloppy job. Now I'm going to let her play. I'm going to play the rest of what she has to say. Okay. But I understand why someone would look at this and go, wait a second. I have been on the other side of this. I've seen how they operate. They take everything very, very seriously. So why wouldn't they take this situation very seriously as well? Hence the reason why people start to put on their tinfoil hats and start conspirizing and theorizing out the wazoo. Okay? But let's hear what she got to say. Let's hear the rest, or a little bit more.
All of these Secret Service agents crawling around, and you don't think just what that guy said, that is common sense, okay? They're trying to now tell us that common sense is a conspiracy. That is the new thing that they're trying to tell the public. Common sense is a conspiracy. You're telling me this guy was able to walk up with a rifle in his hand and scale a roof, and you don't think the Secret Service, and let me tell you, they get there days before. Let me tell you how a security apparatus is supposed to run. Days before, they get in and they look at every possible angle in which somebody could hurt the president. Okay?
She ain't wrong on that. I mean, let me be real. Like I said, I don't listen to her a whole lot, and all that stuff. I don't agree with a lot of the things that she says on a lot of things, but hey, it is what it is. Okay. But in my mind, a broken clock could be right 2 times a day. And now we're looking at this and she's sitting there going, wait a second, they got to show up days in advance, have everything locked down, which is very true. I've seen it myself. Actually, that's funny. I've seen it myself. Holy crap. I totally forgot. Many, 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 many years ago. Okay. I was a photographer for a band, right? This is very, very many, many years ago. But they were playing for this, like I said, long time ago. They were playing for a convention, like an event for Hillary Clinton. Okay, this is way before the emails, by the way, guys. Or maybe this was while the emails were happening. I don't know. I digress. So they did background checks on everyone. Every last living soul that walked onto that stage, that was behind this, that was backstage, okay, that was in the actual event itself, every single one of those people, every single one, they actually come through the venue days in advance before they had Hillary Clinton in the room. I'm not kidding. It was very much serious, right? Hardcore. Very well advanced. And then everything was locked down. No one was ever able to go in there or out of there days before the event. Then the event happened, and they were even more hardcore, even more straight-laced and serious about every single moment that she went up there, right? Every single moment that she was backstage, on the stage, or in the actual inside the venue itself. Every move that she made was literally broken down, and everyone's all on their Matrix, headphones, talking about everything. So you're telling me, and I understand that this was years ago, but at the same time, it just doesn't make any sense to me that you have someone that's the former president of the United States. He's Donald Trump, for crying out loud. That there wasn't any type of preventative measures done to make sure everything was locked down. Here's the other thing, too. And I am kind of curious as to what it was that I wonder what this kid did, this monster did. How did he get up there? Did he stay there for a while? Was he there for days? Think about this. On some real stuff. We don't need to watch the rest of this Candace Owens stuff. You heard it. And I get why. And she's echoing what a lot of people are saying out here on the internet streets right now. That it feels like it was a setup. But you got to remember also, this individual was on that rooftop. So I wonder, was he there days in advance? Was he hiding out in like some little spot in some dark area? Hiding out for days? Just dodging Secret Service? CIA, FBI, whoever else at law enforcement as they comb through the areas? How was he able to go up there and he was so noticed, by the way, though. Okay? He was so noticed. It wasn't like he was not noticed. Do you understand what I'm saying? People saw him up there, bear crawling, okay? With the weapon in his hand, getting set up, setting up his shot. Did he just walk off the street? Did he just drive an hour away from where he lived? Just pull up and he's like, yep, here it is. Park the car, get out the car, get his weapon, and just walk straight up there? Or did he walk on there and stay there days beforehand? What was his plan? What was this kid's plan? Right? What was this kid's plan? I also understand that I heard something about him being a registered Republican as well, because I know a lot of people are like, this is Antifa. This is left again, doing the thing. We don't even know. We don't know. I don't know if he's a registered Republican. I don't know if that's entirely true. And I don't know if he's Antifa. Okay, so we're going to wait until they actually give us that information as well. Okay, but on some real stuff, it does make you wonder what actually happened. Okay, what actually happened here? Did he know that did he have this planned out? Or did he just randomly walk on to the rally area, find a decent spot, crawl up there, and then minutes fired some shots? I hope law enforcement gets that information here very, very soon, right? Tyler just said he voted Republican in 2022. Yeah. That's the information I'm hearing as well. So instantly, you see what I'm saying? Because instantly everybody's going, is this the left? Could this be the left? We don't know. We do not know. I mean, clearly there's some mental health issue going on here, for sure. But why would he target former President Donald Trump? Why? I'm understanding there isn't much of a social media presence of him online. But law enforcement is going to do their thing. They're going to law enforce. Okay. We're going to find out more information about this guy, I'm sure, very, very soon. Now, here's the thing, though. I see a bunch of y'all in here, and I appreciate you guys tuning in and being a part of the conversation. Please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms like Facebook, X. I'm streaming on there as well. So please hit those likes and those reaction buttons. Please also hit that subscribe button as well. If you're watching here on my main channel, please. We're going to get into this press conference here in just a moment. And then after that, after we get this press conference, because it is pretty brief, we do have some more information that we're going to talk about here as well. So subscribe, hit that join button, become a member. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, guys. But we got to get into this, this presser. Okay. That was done just about 40 minutes or so ago. And let's see what they say. You know, this is, whoops, hold on. 1 second, guys. Trying this again. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I got it, though. Just 2 seconds. Okay. Much better. Hold on. Boom. Okay. Let us look at this here. All right. This gets us straight. This is going to get us straight into this is going to get us straight into the presser. Okay. And yeah, I'll look into it. Somebody just said NBC interviewed a classmate. Ooh, if anybody can find that, please email that to me. I'll try to find it as well while we're watching this presser. But they say he was bullied daily, which is terrible. Okay, which is absolutely terrible. But at the same time, yeah, he was registered as a Republican. That's what they're allegedly saying out here, right? Immortal Badass, what's up, man? Thank you so much for being a member for the past 30. Wow. Oh, wow. Long time. Thank you so much, man. All right. Just dropped an image of his registration card in Discord, main Pascal. I'm going to check that out. Okay. I appreciate you letting me know. And let me grab this too here. North Texas Angel, thank you so much. I emailed a pic that was circulating last night. I'm going to take a look at that here in a second too. If it's the kill shot photo, I'm not showing that on the platform. You guys can see that all over. It's plastered all over the internet right now. In fact, people are posting it on Facebook like a mug as well, which I'm surprised you can even post that kind of stuff on Facebook. But nonetheless, it is out there. But I will take a look and see what you guys emailed me. Okay, I appreciate it. We're going to be breaking all this stuff down live as we speak. There's a lot to digest. Again, violence is never the answer. Let me just say that really, really quick. Okay, we need to be better to each other, better to ourselves as well. And let's take a look at what this presser has to say.
Secret Service agents rushing in, swarming the former president, rushing him off the stage, ushering him to a waiting SUV. You can see authorities coming through the door there right now. Of course, what we saw play out in Pennsylvania less than 24 hours ago, happening just moments after that rally began. Let's listen to the governor and law enforcement.
Good afternoon. I'm Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and I'm honored every single day to represent the good people of Pennsylvania. I'm honored to be here today in Butler Township, a wonderful community. A community where people love one another, respect one another. Unfortunately, last night had to deal with tragedy in their neighborhood. I've just come from a briefing with the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police. And I'm joined today, of course, by Colonel Christopher Paris of the Pennsylvania State Police. Law enforcement will have more to share throughout the day. I'd like to make a few comments separate from the ongoing investigation. First and foremost, the assassination attempt on the former president, Donald Trump, last night was absolutely unacceptable and tragic. Lori and I are grateful that the former president is safe and, according to him and his team, is fine. It's also important to note that last night, 3 of our fellow Pennsylvanians were shot, 1 fatally and 2 in critical condition. I've just spent time speaking to the families, and I want to offer my prayers and the prayers of all 13 million Pennsylvanians for the 2 individuals who are being treated at this time. We lost a fellow Pennsylvanian last night, Corey Comparator. I just spoke to Corey's wife and Corey's two daughters. Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family. Corey was an avid supporter of the former president and was so excited to be there last night with him in the community. I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero, that Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us. May his memory be a blessing. Last night was shocking for this community and for this Commonwealth, and I know for this country. Political disagreements can never, ever be addressed through violence. Disagreements are okay, but we need to use a peaceful political process to settle those differences. This is a moment where all leaders have a responsibility to speak and act with moral clarity, where all leaders need to take down the temperature and rise above the hateful rhetoric that exists and search for a better, brighter future for this nation. It's the work that I try to do every day here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that's the work that falls to each and every American right now. And so I ask that you join me in prayer for the two Pennsylvanians who are in critical condition, that we continue to wish for a full and speedy recovery and pray for the former president, and that the Comparator family remains in our thoughts and prayers. They have some very challenging times ahead of them. They will have an empty seat at the dinner table for the rest of their lives. But we need to make sure that Corey's memory is forever a blessing. And here in Pennsylvania, we will see to it that that is the case. And with that, I'll be happy to try and take a few of your questions.
Governor, a lot of folks are starting to ask the tough question about whether that building that the shooter accessed should have been secured. Should it have been secured? And do the Pennsylvania State Police have any responsibility to have secured it?
I'm not going to get into any questions answer any questions regarding the ongoing investigation. I trust that the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police will keep you posted throughout the day and in the days ahead as to their investigation.
Governor, there were some concerning items that the police had found in the suspect's vehicle. Do you have any update on those? And are you confident at this point the threat is over, that he acted alone and that the public is in fact safe?
The investigation is ongoing and law enforcement will update you on the status of their investigation throughout the day.
Can you share any more about your communications with former President Donald Trump or his team?
I have not spoken directly to the former president. I have wished him well. I think multiple times last evening through statements Lori and I have. The people of Pennsylvania, I know, were praying for him. And again, according to his team and himself, it seems as though he will be fine, obviously, relatively speaking. And we're glad to see that. Violence is never acceptable. I should also let you know that I did speak to President Biden. He called me last night to make sure that here in the Commonwealth, we had all the resources we needed. I assured him that we did. At the time, he had yet to speak to President Trump. I think they connected later in the evening, and he wanted me to know that he was trying to reach out to the former president. I think that that was the honorable and right thing to do, and I'm glad that President Biden did that. We have no unmet needs at this time, and we're working in concert with our federal partners, and I let the president know that.
Governor, have you talked to the families of those two who were critically injured, and do you have an update on their condition?
I spoke to the family of one of them, and the other left a detailed message, and I'm not going to get into their status. That'll be shared by the Pennsylvania State Police and or the family later today.
Governor, will you be asking for flags to be put on the CashApp across the state, and also Knowing that this is going to be really contentious, even more so, a battleground state for the rest of what would your message?
I just missed the last part of what she said.
No problem. The first was about the flags. The second, knowing that this is going to be even more contentious now in the state of Pennsylvania and that we're divided here, what is your message to people who live here?
I have directed that flags be flown at half-staff in Corey's memory, and our chief of staff is working through that process now. My message to all Pennsylvanians, my message to all Americans is to be firm in your beliefs, to believe what you believe, to advocate for what you believe, and to be engaged in the political and civic process, but to always do so peacefully. To remember that while we may be Democrats or Republicans, above all else, we are Americans. And if you look at the story of this great nation over the last 248 years, a nation that was born right here in Pennsylvania, it's been ordinary Americans at every single step of the way, rising up, demanding more, seeking justice, advocating for change, and doing so peacefully. And those who have advocated for such change peacefully, they have been the ones to bring that about. We have to remember that even in these times where there are real divisions, that we have to address those divisions through engagement in the political and civic process in a peaceful manner. That is incumbent upon all political leaders of all parties, and it is incumbent upon the public. I will tell you that notwithstanding the tragedy that we saw last night here in Butler, the awful tragedy, that every day when I'm around Pennsylvania, I see the very best of Pennsylvanians. People who do have fervent beliefs, people who do have passionate beliefs, but who engage in a peaceful manner and who love their neighbors and who engage with people in their communities, even those that they might have differences from. We need to learn from our history in this Commonwealth and in this country, and we need to bring our better angels forward and carry that forward into this political season.
Governor,
I'll take one more. Yes.
Can you expand on the situation of Mr. Comfortore's passing? Was he standing behind President Trump? You said he dove in front of his family. Is there any more detail you can provide about
His
that?
wife shared with me that he dove on his family to protect them. As for any other information, that'll be shared by law enforcement. Thank you all very much.
I'm gonna play a little bit more of this so we can hear what the reporter has to say.
There in Butler Township, less than 24 hours after the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. The governor of Pennsylvania saying he spoke with the victim who died, the supporter who died there from bullet wounds, describing him as a girl dad, a father of two girls, we believe. His name is Corey Comfortore. According to the governor there just moments ago, he said he spoke with Corey's wife, who gave the governor permission to share with the country that her husband, a firefighter, died, she said, as a hero. He jumped on family members in the middle of that madness as it was playing out at the rally. I want to bring in our team members for some important questions, just to bring you up to date at home. Let's bring in our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, who is right there at the scene of the press conference. I know, Aaron, you asked moments ago about this fast-moving investigation, whether or not the governor would weigh in on what might have been discovered inside the suspect's car. And again, this is all moving very quickly. Let's bring our audience up to speed on what we know about the shooter.
We know the shooter was a 20-year-old local person from here in Western Pennsylvania, David, and he was killed by a U.S. Secret Service sharpshooter, and that was after he was able to fire off about 8 rounds from an AR-style rifle from an elevated position, which in and of itself is concerning. There were some critical images captured by Doug Mills of the New York Times, the first of which appears to show a projectile passing by former President Trump, followed by a second image by Doug Mills of the New York Times, in which the former president appears to touch his ear. And then you see in a third image, blood on the former president's hand. These are images among hundreds of others that law enforcement officials are now studying as they now try to find a motive for why this shooter did what he did. So far, David, we're told there has been no obvious motive, either through social media, but they're still going through it. including a Discord account, although that hasn't been terribly revealing from what law enforcement officials tell us. And David, here you heard the governor try to address the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania who are rightly shocked, he said, by what occurred in their state. He said political disagreements can never be addressed with violence, but that's exactly what happened here on Saturday evening, David.
In fact, we heard the governor there tell not only the people of Pennsylvania, given the outsized role that that state plays in really all presidential elections and will again come this November, to advocate for what you believe in, but to do it peacefully. He encouraged all Americans to abide by that principle. You were talking about the suspect there moments ago. Really extraordinary images from the New York Times, for many very difficult to look at, as you can actually see the bullet coming in. And it's a lot of people, Aaron, in looking at that, know the video they saw from less than 24 hours ago, that it was the former president's right ear, and yet it looks like it's coming in from that side. So give us an idea of the relationship from where this suspect was. And again, he was outside the security perimeter, but remarkably close to this rally. And then part of the major questions going forward, how he was able to get on that rooftop with the Secret Service and state police tasked with securing that political rally.
And that rooftop, we're told, was searched and secure. So there is a nagging question about why that elevated position was available to this young man to fire off these rounds from the AR-style rifle. And the images are even possible because the photographers are brought up close in Trump's political rallies. So they were right there near the former president. It appears he was shot from less than 200 yards away. Our team has taken a look at some of the images and also the rooftop from where we believe the shooter was perched. And it appears to be about 130 yards away. So it was far too close for comfort. The Secret Service often has responsibility for the immediate vicinity around their protectee. Sometimes locations outside the security perimeter are outsourced to state and local law enforcement partners. The governor was asked here whether the Pennsylvania State Police bore any responsibility. The governor did not really entertain the question. He said that's going to be part of the investigation, and law enforcement is certainly asking, David.
We're looking at aerials now of those rooftops in question. And then Aaron.
Yeah, this is, absolutely crazy. Of course, we got some new updates that I want to share with you about the actual man that lost his life. The victim lost his life. We understand his name is Corey Campertor. I'm butchering the last name, but I wanted to share with you guys some images of him. 50 years old. This is very, very sad. Actually, I want to make sure I have this info real quick for you guys as well. He served as the chief of Buffalo Township Volunteer of the Buffalo Township Volunteer Fire Department, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's 50 years old. All right. And of course, his family have gone to Facebook and posted something. I wanted to share with you guys the actual post that was made by his daughter. Real quick before we get into more of this conversation and more into this information. Again, I mean, like I said, this is a man that lost his life, 50 years old, this should not have happened to him at all. It's just very tragic. So let me share this with you guys. Here is a post from his daughter, if I'm correct, Allison. All right. It says, yesterday time stopped. And when it started again, my family and I started living a real life nightmare. What was supposed to be an exciting day that we had all looked forward to, especially my dad, turned into the most traumatizing experiences someone could imagine. I know the media will cover this event, and I'm going to try my best to stay away from looking at everything, especially because I've already seen and lived through it in real time. But I want everyone to know what the media will not cover and will not say about him. He was the best dad a girl could ever ask for, My sister and I never needed for anything. You call, he would answer, and he would do whatever it is you needed. And if he didn't know how, if he didn't know how, he would figure it out, or he would figure out how. He could talk and make friends with anyone, which he was doing all day yesterday, and loved every minute of it. He was a man of God, loved Jesus fiercely, and also looked after our church and our members as a family. The media will not tell you that he passed as a real life superhero. They're not going to tell you how quickly he threw my mom and I to the ground. They're not going to tell you that he shielded my body from the bullet that came at us. He loved his family. He truly loved us enough to take a real bullet for us. And I want nothing more than to cry on him and tell him thank you. I want nothing more than to wake up for this, and for this to be reality, and not this to be reality for me and my family. We lost a selfless, loving husband, father, brother. Hold on. Father, brother, uncle, son, and friend. And I will never stop thinking about him and mourning over him until the day that I die too. July 13th will forever be a day that changed my life. I will never be the same person I was less than 24 hours ago. There are a lot of children out there that say their dad is their hero, but my dad really is mine. I don't think I would be here today without him. Dad, I love you so much that there aren't enough words to express how deep that love goes. I know you'll give heaven some hell. I know that God is proud of the man that came to his gates yesterday. And of course, this is just absolutely heartbreaking. And the fact that he shielded his family when these shots rang out really says something about him. And it's just a terrible thing. It's just a terrible, terrible situation, terrible piece of information just to hear right now. Like I said, this is an event that should be where everyone comes together and they get excited and they rally together. They support. They show love. It was a peaceful rally, right? It wasn't like something that was filled with anger and vitriol. It was a peaceful rally until shots rang out and someone lost their life and others are injured. And there's other people out here too that are mentally traumatized. You got to remember, it's a pebble in the lake, and it's the ripples. Just because it's not only just the three that were injured, okay? The two that were injured and the one that lost their life. It's all the people around them as well that saw that are deeply traumatized by it as well. You got to remember the horrifying screams, the blood-curdling screams you heard in the background as Trump is being whisked off the stage. There's a lot of people that are going to be deeply, deeply traumatized by this situation. And we need to take it seriously. This was a deeply traumatic situation for a lot of people, not only just for Trump. And of course, this is terrifying for Trump too. I'm not trying to diminish what happened to Trump. Let's be real. Centimeters away from losing his life. If he moved his head just a little bit like this, it would have been a wrap for him. Okay? Then it would have been even more of a traumatizing situation. It's just crazy. Nonetheless, very, very horrific and a terrifying situation. But we got to get into a few more things. I did want to share that with you guys. The victim's family, or at least his daughter, spoke out, and I think that's a really amazing thing. That's really heroic. Somebody who's willing to risk everything for his own children says a lot about that guy, in my personal opinion. And may he rest in peace. And I hope that the family finds the peace that they rightfully deserve right now. I really do. But let's continue on. We got some more we got to get into. Now, we heard about the victim, about Corey and how he lost his life. There are still 2 other people that are injured. We have yet to have them be identified. They have not said anything about those individuals as of yet, but we will hopefully hear very soon about them. Hopefully they have bounced back, right? And I'm hoping that they're okay, that they're going to have a speedy recovery, that they're going to come out of this okay, maybe injured, traumatized, but still alive to fight another day. Okay. That's what I'm hoping for, and fingers crossed on that. But there is some other information. I know some of you guys sent me a bunch of different things, so I wanted to share a few of these things really quick. And thank you so much for sharing this on Discord. This is something that I thought was interesting as well. This is something that this says right here. Okay. This is allegedly his voter registration card. Look at that. And it says Republican right down there. Party affiliation. Date of birth, September of 2003. Okay. He was coming up on his 21st birthday, guys. All right. Pretty wild stuff. So there's that, which is very interesting. See, but that's the thing. I keep wondering, what is up with the dude then? What's up with this guy? What's up? Why did this happen? I mean, clearly it's a mental health issue for sure. But why, if he's and I get it, not everybody agrees with Trump. You know what I mean? Just because you are Republican does not mean that you are a Trump supporter, right? Just because you are a Democrat does not mean that you are a Biden supporter. You can disagree with the people that are in your party, right? So I am kind of curious as to, it is interesting because, like I said, everybody and their mama was sitting there going, "Oh, he left. Oh, he a leftist. That's Antifa. That's a leftist mother lover." See, that's what the left do. But his party affiliation is Republican. So I am quite curious as to why, who, what, when, where, and why this actually happened. That's very interesting. Okay? That's very interesting. And I also will say this too, though. Let me point this out too. Just because his party affiliation is Republican doesn't mean that he happens to vote blue every once in a while. You never know. You never know. Like I said, we are not a monolith, okay? Our parties are, if we lean more left does not automatically mean we always think left. Just because somebody is more right doesn't mean that they think all the same right-wing ideologies. We're all free-thinking individuals. We could go, okay, I lean more conservative, but I do like some of these policies over here on the left. And somebody on the left could say the same doggone thing. Hey, I see, I lean more on the left's ideologies, but I do see and I do agree with some of the things that the Republican side is saying, on these certain policies and whatnot. It's how we are. We're human. We're not a monolith, guys. We're not. Okay? In fact, we shouldn't be. We should be free thinking. Vote who we want to vote for because we like their policies. Not because, oh, he's red, so I'm supposed to be. Because I'm red, so I got to be voting him red. Or I'm blue, so I got to vote blue because I'm blue. No. Find the person that you like. Use your brain. Be a free thinker. We are not a monolith, dagnabbit. Sorry. Okay? I don't mean to get on that soapbox, but dagnabbit, some people, man. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Take it as it is. We're going to get right back into it. We got more, though. Here's another screenshot, which, by the way, thank you to Discord. Thank you to my fam on Discord. I appreciate you guys. Here's some more information here as well. Thomas Crooks. There he is, looking all like he's about to start his own future real estate company. But moving on, or he's about to do our taxes. But moving on, okay, he's the one who attempted to try to take Trump's life. Okay, 20 years old from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Used a semi-automatic AR-15 style rifle. Like I said, the star of the show. Okay? Star of the show. Real talk. This is the Meryl Streep of the show. Okay? AR-15 rifle. And of course, his life was taken by Secret Service. All right? Now, let us continue on. I got another video, and this is a thing. Like, I think we all are kind of curious about this too. I got a lot of questions. You know, I'm an inquisitive mother lover, and I got a lot of questions because I like to think, unfortunately. Sometimes I wish I'd stop thinking, but it's on all the time. And I'm wondering, how did this kid get up there? How did he get there? How was he able to do that, unfortunately, successfully? Let's take a look at this video.
We continue to cover the attempted assassination of former President Trump today. You're looking at pictures of the event. We just heard from an FBI official, along with local officials in Butler County, Pennsylvania. They believe a 20-year-old man from the county was the shooter. They have not released his name. Clearly, they know who he is, but are trying to figure out the motives behind this and if anyone else was involved. But back to the shooting itself, heard around the world. The former president said he was hit in the ear. You see the blood streaming from the side of his face. Several other people were shot as well. One of them died. 2 others are in critical condition tonight. So how could this happen? How could the shooter get this close? Let's look at a map of the area again. The Secret Service released a little bit more information on this. You see how close that building appears to be to the stage, just off to the side there. They say the gunman was off the property on top of that roof, maybe 200 or 300 feet away from the stage, and then fired up to 10 times with an AR-15 style rifle. The shooter was also killed by the Secret Service, but again, the identity and the motives have not been released.
Okay, now you see that, right? I just wanted to show you guys that again. Do you see how doggone close he was to the stage? Look at that. All right. Do you see how close he was to the doggone stage? That's terrifying. That's terrifyingly close, guys. And they didn't sit there and go, well, there's a guy with a long rifle over there. We should take that seriously. There's reports of a guy over here, a couple football fields away. Maybe we should take this seriously. But no, they did not. But no, they didn't at all. Bit odd, don't you think? Now, I'm not sitting here saying conspiracy. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, this is an inside job that they wanted to take Trump out. No, not even saying that. I'm just saying it seems like there was some sort of incompetence, some sort of competence problem within security. And that could be Secret Service all the way down to local PD. Did they not fully, successfully comb everything? Now, I mean, I'm just saying, look at this. Let me just blow this up really quick again and just look at my mouse. He's on top of here. They didn't go through all this over here. And they didn't see him over here. Are the security detail different when you're not the president, Nobo? I'm just curious. Does security detail get a little bit lackluster? Is it budget cuts? I'm just curious. How does that happen? This is the former president. He doesn't have security with him at all times? For life, for the most part? Or at least when he's doing huge events like this? You know, if him just going down to the supermarket might be a different situation. But I'm just saying, how does this happen? Look how close he was, guys. I'm going to tell you what, all of his rallies are going to be indoors now. Watch. All of his rallies are going to be indoors. He ain't playing like this no more. He ain't playing. Okay? This is going to wake him up. This is really going to wake him up. And it's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. We got more. we got more to look at, so we gotta get it moving here. Where the heck did it go? I hate when that happens. Let me grab this here. Former classmate. Thank you guys. You guys sent this to me, so I want to share this. I haven't seen this yet, but apparently a former classmate of this monster did an interview and gave a little bit more insight on Thomas Matthew Crooks. Let's take a look at this video.
As we've been here, there's a lot.
Uh-oh.
As we've been here, there's a lot.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Let me try that again. 1 second, guys. That was crazy. That video did not go all the way through. Hold on. Son of a gun. Let me try that again.
As we've been here.
Try that again.
As we've been here, there's a large media presence.
There we go.
We've had members of the community come and approach us, including one person who said he actually went to high school with this suspected shooter. I want you to listen to a little bit of our conversation there.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays. So they're going to see someone like that, and they're going to target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Damn. Interesting. He was bullied every single day. But see, that's the thing. I'm going, then why Trump? Why was Trump the target? You see what I'm saying? I'm wondering what it was. Okay. And I mean, if he, and then I keep wondering, how badly was he being bullied all through high school. Right. And it sounds like he kind of kept to himself. Right. He was very much to himself and all that stuff. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It just makes you wonder, why Trump? Why go after Trump? Right. And again, I will say this too, Kristen, right? I do agree. That's no excuse for why this happened, right? Just because you're bullied does not automatically mean you go out there and just do that, right? But interesting. Let's see what it is.
You said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much.
Also, President Biden is going to be giving remarks allegedly in a little bit in regards to everything that happened yesterday. I guess he's coming back out to speak again. I guess the question is, does he remember he already did that yesterday? I guess that's the burning question. But moving on.
This was high school.
Yeah.
What did they, do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
That's what he was saying. He said that he was actually in the class before or behind the suspected shooter here. And we have some movement here where you hear an ambulance or a car horn. Excuse that background noise. But one thing that we also heard from that conversation is that when we asked what he was bullied for, what this shooter was bullied for, he pointed to his clothing. Apparently, according to this person who says he was a classmate, the shooter would wear military style clothes or hunting clothes regularly as he was at school. So we're still learning a lot more. We can tell you investigators continue to go in and out of the scene here. We know multiple agencies are here, not just local police, but the county bomb squad. As I mentioned last night, I saw the ATF here. It's a calm scene. It's not completely evacuated. Many residents are still in their homes behind here, but you can tell this is definitely a focal point of this investigation. information as we learn more about the suspected shooter, who, again, from what we know and from public records, does not have a criminal history, not a large social media presence. So there's a lot more information that folks are looking to learn, Tom.
Yeah, I think that this is, of course, doesn't matter if someone's been bullied or not. It doesn't matter. This should not have happened, right? And then, of course, I keep wondering, why was it Trump then? I just keep wondering. I get it that Trump's got haters. Haters gonna hate, right? He's got a lot of haters. He's a political figure. Instantly, there's going to be hate, no matter what side he's on. He's a public figure. So yeah, there's going to be people who give a lot of hate and anger towards him as well. But we do have, okay, and of course, I'm just making a joke. It was a small joke, all right. But Joe, yeah, at least has empathy. Yeah, more than I could say for the ones hollering the loudest right now. Absolutely. There's a lot of people out here that are saying some really nasty things and making jokes out of this situation, which I don't think this is a joking situation. All right. But let's get into this press conference. It's already happened, but it's already happening. So we're going to start at the beginning and we're going to take a look at it as a family. All right. Let's take a look at this presser.
From the fringes of the party who have tried to turn this into a divisive issue and run with that rhetoric. Instead, they are trying to tamp down on divisions like that.
All right. And former President Trump and President Biden are both calling for unity in this moment. R.J. O'Brien there in Milwaukee ahead of the RNC. Thank you, Jay. And we'll have much more special coverage of this assassination attempt against former President Trump as we await remarks from President Biden. We'll have that for you right after this break.
Bullet piercing Trump's upper right ear. You could actually,
here we go.
Moments ago, reacting to the shots being fired, looking at his hand, and then going below the podium there. Let's listen to the president now.
I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering. We had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired. And he lost his life. God love him. We're also planning for the full recovery of those who were injured. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything. It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now, unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree. That's not going to change, but we're going to not lose sight of the fact who we are as Americans. Look, Vice President Harris and I were just briefed in the Situation Room by my Homeland Security team, including the Director of the FBI, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General, the Director of the Secret Service, my Homeland Security Advisor, the National Security Advisor, and we're going to continue to be briefed. The FBI is leading this investigation, which is still in its early stages. We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is. I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job. I'm instructed that this investigation be thorough and swift, and the investigators will have every resource they need to get this done. Look, as this investigation continues, here's what we're going to do. First, Mr. Trump, as a former president and nominee of the Republican Party, already receives a heightened level of security. And I've been consistent in my direction of the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure his continued safety. Second, I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention, which is scheduled to start tomorrow. And third, I've directed an independent review of national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened. And we'll share the results of that independent review with the American people as well. And finally, I'll be speaking more about this tonight at greater length from the Oval Office. We must unite as one nation. We must unite as one nation to demonstrate who we are. And so may God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, when you spoke to President Trump yesterday,
President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and members of his national security team, the Attorney General right there leaving the Roosevelt Room not long after they had been briefed in the Situation Room about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump in Pennsylvania less than 24 hours ago. You heard the president there outline a couple of things here moving forward. He has directed the Secret Service that they have every resource available to continue to keep former President Donald Trump safe moving forward. They will review all security measures for the Republican National Convention. That was the second thing he revealed there. Again, reviewing all security measures for the Republican National Convention moving forward in these next couple of days. From the Trump campaign and the Republican Party, they do plan to move forward with the convention as planned. He's also called for an independent review of national security at that rally in Pennsylvania, pledged to share that with the American people. And perhaps most telling there, he announced an Oval Office address. 8 p.m. Eastern is our belief at this point. Let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce. Again, the president there moments ago saying he's instructed the Secret Service that they have every resource available to continue to keep Donald Trump safe. And he called for an immediate review of all security measures at the RNC. He'll address the nation tonight.
That is the case, David. The president here is trying to make it very clear that he is on top of this, that they are going to get to the bottom of how this could happen, and that he and this administration are doing everything they can to make sure that this doesn't happen again, starting, of course, with making sure that the RNC is as safe and secure as it possibly can be. But, of course, there also is that other important message that the president is trying to get across, which is just this amazing, remarkable, and sad moment that we are at currently as a country. The president coming out and saying again, there is no place in America for this kind of violence. This is not who we are, and saying we cannot lose sight of that. That, I think, is the message you're going to likely hear more of tonight as he tries to, over the last 24 hours, less than that, dial down the temperature, dial down the explosive political rhetoric in this country. The president, though, noting we do not know the motive yet of this alleged shooter. And the president saying, don't make assumptions. But nonetheless, he's making clear he is doing everything he can to try and get to the bottom of this, and that he wants to share that more important overarching message with the country that it is now, that now is an important time to come together and unite. Yes, we disagree, but it has to be done in a way that is safe, David.
Mary Bruce at the White House. Mary, thank you. I'll see you later for World News Tonight. And then, of course, the president's speech, 8 p.m. Eastern. He just announced he will address the nation from the Oval Office. Let's bring in our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky.
Okay, we're going to be, we'll try to see if we can watch that tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Apparently, Biden will be addressing the nation again, revolving around this whole thing. And I think this is, I agree, T. I think it's we're in the place of we are not in the place to make accusations or, and make up our own assumptions until we actually get more facts, right? Until we actually get a few more pieces of information. Now, this is something that I also saw that I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to share this with you guys as well. Allegedly, they say that they found boom booms. Okay, devices that go boom, because I got to use these code words, unfortunately, in his car, in Thomas Matthew Crooks' car and home. Take a look at this. Okay, let's take a look at this real quick. All right, so his would-be assassin, TMC. I'm just going to say TMC for right now. All right, had explosives in his car. Okay, in the car that he drove to the Pennsylvania rally, and used a firearm purchased by his father. Wow. Authorities found the devices that go boom boom in his vehicle and home after Secret Service agents took the life of him seconds after he opened fire on former President Donald Trump. So, TMC, or the father, Matthew Crooks, 53, legally purchased the AR-15 that his son used to attempt to take the life of Trump on Saturday. Thomas, okay, of course, we already know, took the life of one rally goer. His name was Corey Comparator, all right, and critically injured two others who are being treated at the general hospital in Pittsburgh, okay, while attempting to take out Trump. Now, we already know that this struck his ear and all that. But still, nonetheless, the fact that they were able to find his, to go back, find his car, find that there were devices that go boom in his car. Then they raided his home and allegedly found stuff inside his home as well that also go boom, boom as well. That's absolutely crazy. He graduated high school just 2 years ago, parked his vehicle near the rally site in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday before scaling the roof of a nearby industrial manufacturing building and targeting Trump. Authorities claim that after police received multiple reports of suspicious packages near where the monster parked his car, it prompted them to dispatch bomb technicians. Investigators worked well into the night to make sure the scene was clear, which included searching Thomas's home and speaking with his family. The FBI search led to the discovery of more boom boom devices in the family's Bethel Park home. Wow. Now, I'm wondering about this, though. What is up with the parents, then? Did the parents know anything about this? Could this be Crumbly? Do you remember Ethan Crumbly? Ethan Crumbly, guys, right? Another monster went into his high school, opened fire, claimed the lives of many. Parents were very lackadaisical with weapons and whatnot. They have been found guilty. They're now serving time in prison because they're being held accountable for them allowing their son to mess around with weapons such as pew-pews. Okay, I hate using these code words, guys, but you know what I mean. All right, crazy. So the same situation. He had devices that go boom in the house, y'all. Did the parents know? Did the parents know? Or are they playing, or were they completely oblivious? I'm curious. Could this be another Ethan Crumbly situation? Right? Members of the community where Crooks is believed to have lived with his parents were swarmed by police and Secret Service on Sunday morning. Okay, those who spoke to Daily Mail said the family were quiet and kept to themselves. Isn't that always the case in these stories? He was just really quiet and he kept to himself. Isn't that crazy? Crooks was on the live, okay, seconds after he opened fire on the president. Now, I got a video I want to share with you guys, too. We're going to take a look at this, too, right quick before we rock and roll on.
Enforcement agencies are focusing on a home in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, just south of Pittsburgh. It is where the suspected 20-year-old shooter lived. Investigative reporter and anchor Megan Schiller of CBS Pittsburgh is here. Good morning.
Good morning. This is about as close as we can get here in Bethel Park this morning to that gunman's home. If I step out of the way, look at all the law enforcement that is gathered down the street at the stop sign. If you hang a right, the gunman's home is right there, a few houses up. They have all of the roads blocked surrounding the home of the 20-year-old shooter right now. Secret Service and the FBI zeroed in on the home last night and are conducting an investigation into his background, speaking with his family and other contacts. Now, we were here as law enforcement swarmed the neighborhood about an hour south of Butler, where the rally occurred yesterday. I talked with one resident in the area who said that she heard a knock on the door in the middle of the night. She was told that she needed to evacuate and she would not be able to return to her home until noon today. When they came and knocked on your door and told you to leave the house, what did you know at that time? Anything?
Nothing. It was a state of emergency. That was it. And then
That means, by the way, that means that they know that there was potential of other devices that go boom, and they wanted them out of the place. They wanted them to vacate the area as quickly as possible, just in case something goes off. Okay, let's be real, but that's insane. And I'm wondering how advanced were these devices that go boom, right? Was it some serious stuff that he bought off the internet, or was it just like makeshift stuff that he made at home, right? Homemade devices, if you catch my drift, right? I'm quite curious about that. That's insane. But the neighbors had to vacate the premises because for safety measures, just in case they walked in and the place just went boom, right?
I started hearing rumors shortly after about there being a bomb, which was just confirmed when I went to the Bethel Park police station and asked them what the hell was going on.
What did they tell you?
They said there's a bomb in the house, and that's why we can't get there. And they said the earliest that we can look at getting in our house is going to be noon.
So the Bethel Park police.
Two officers from Bethel Park Police confirmed that there was a bomb in the house.
And now whether or not there was actually a bomb inside the shooter's home, still not confirmed. But we were told by Bethel Park Police that they were investigating a potential bomb threat around the gunman's home. Now, we want to show you video here of the shooter where he appears to be graduating and accepting his diploma on stage from Bethel Park High School in 2022. He was a registered Republican who previously made a small donation to a Democratic-aligned group, $15 donation at that. At this time, there are no links to any foreign terrorism. The shooter is not well known to law enforcement here in this area of Pittsburgh, and so far, no motive released by the FBI. John?
Wow.
Megan Schiller, thank you so much for that. We want to turn now to Samantha Vinograd, a former Homeland Security official and a CBS News contributor. Sam, thank you for joining us. Okay, let's start with just the same question I asked AT. What are the list of questions on your notepad of what you would want answered based on the facts as you know them right now?
Well, John, I think there are really two lines of effort underway. The first is the investigation into the perpetrator himself. In a press conference last night, law enforcement did not rule out the fact that this individual did not act alone. So I am keen to hear whether law enforcement believes that this threat has been totally neutralized and that there are not other co-conspirators.
Hold on. I'm rolling that back one more again. She said what exactly? Hold on.
Really two lines of effort underway. The first is the investigation into the perpetrator himself. In a press conference last night, law enforcement did not rule out the fact that this individual did not act alone.
Okay, so they did not rule out that he did not act alone, which is also very interesting. So then, of course, it makes you wonder who else could be out there, if there is anybody else out there who could have helped him, right? If this was a team effort. Wow.
So I am keen to hear whether law enforcement believes that this threat has been totally neutralized and that there are not other co-conspirators. At the same time, there's also a need to have an independent investigation into the intelligence and operational failures that led to this moment. This individual was not known to law enforcement. Investigators are likely still looking into whether he made concerning statements to his family and others, and if that was or was not known to law enforcement and why, and what security protocols the U.S. Secret Service had in place, what led to their determination on the extent of the secure perimeter, and again, what their command and control structure was on the ground at the rally to communicate information about tips and to send law enforcement to investigate them on the ground as soon as possible.
In terms of rallies or events like this, and we have two conventions this summer, but over the last few years, give us your sense of how Homeland Security officials, Secret Service officials have had to change the way they cover these kinds of events. How much further out the perimeter has to be, how much more seriously they have to take threats because they are more numerous, but also that they can lead to this. Just give us a sense of the pre-existing condition with respect to political violence before this event ever happened.
Before this event ever happened, we were at an unprecedented high when it comes to political violence in this country against candidates and officials from both sides of the aisle. One important note of context, though, John, which is the U.S. Secret Service does not pick the sites at which candidates rally or where conventions are held. all that they can do under the best of circumstances is protect that site to the best of their ability. So we don't know if the U.S. Secret Service, in this case, in a large open air field, warned that this site was not wholly protected. As it pertains to the Republican National Convention, based upon the threat environment, based upon the very public reality that the world now knows that long-range weapons were able to strike a man who was perhaps viewed as impenetrable because of his security detail, they will likely now extend the security perimeter out. But John, last point, I will say that resources to protect the president and former president were already at an unprecedented high based upon the fraught threat environment that we just discussed.
Wow. So they're saying that's at least for this particular reporter, they're saying that the presence of security has always been at an all-time high because it's such a volatile election time. It's of course, both political candidates are very there's a lot of, it's very polarizing, for lack of a better term. So that's very interesting. The other thing I will say is that police, law enforcement, they have not ruled out whether or not this TMC, this monster, if he had worked by himself. You got to be honest, or we got to be real here. You're telling me that this 20-year-old kid who doesn't know a doggone thing, maybe doesn't know a doggone thing about procedure, was able to thwart Secret Service, law enforcement, and all that by himself? For real, though? I mean, there is a possibility he was able to do it. He just kind of flew under the radar. But at the same time, what? Tina just said dumb luck. For real, dumb luck? I don't know. It just seems a bit odd. Like I said, it just seems like a stretch. Seems like a bit of a stretch. Some kid, bear crawling up a building, undetected for the most part, until people saw him. So he wasn't really undetected, you feel me? And then everyone's sitting there going like, yo, there's somebody up there. And the police are like, yeah, we see him. Okay. Yeah, we got him. It's no worries. Nothing to worry about. But then he still did what he did. See, that's the thing. I don't understand why this happened the way it happened. And they really need to look at, man, like I said, people need to start getting fired. He might have to restructure his whole security team or something like that, because I'd be like, trust no one after this. I'd be absolutely paranoid. Are you sure you guys had my back? Sure, the guys that were up there that covered my body became human shields. Okay, appreciate y'all. Remember your names. But how about all y'all in the back? All out there in the nosebleed seats. You're angry I didn't offer you an iced tea, a lemonade with freshly squeezed lemons or something like that. What's up? I'd be asking all these things. Real talk. What did I do? What did I do to you? Why did you let this man get up there and do this? I'm firing all y'all, and we're going to restructure this whole doggone thing. Period. We're going to investigate the hell out of this. Y'all going to, who's the head of the security's Secret Service? Who the head of that? Who was the one that was the head of all of this? Combing the area, making sure every place was covered and looked and searched and sought after and made sure that those places were cleared before I even got my ass on that stage. Who was involved in that? Who's the leader? Who's responsible? Oh, it's you? You're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. Sorry, and you're fired too. Anybody else? Because we're going to restructure this mug. And I'm going to make sure every single person is properly vetted. I don't give two damns. But that's just me, though. Because as soon as I go, man, because, at first he gets hit on the ear. He gets clipped, right? Grazed, right? And then he fight. instantly I'd be like, yeah, shoot, I'm invincible. Let's go, right? I'd feel like nothing can touch me. But then when the adrenaline goes down, reality is going to set in. Like, holy crap, a centimeter, a little bit to the left, and I could have been a goner. Holy crap. Because at first, you're gonna have a few shots with your boys, be like, yeah, you try me, son. And then you get that moment by yourself. And that reality hits you, and you're like, oh my damn, I really got away by the skin of my teeth. Literally. Holy God. Hold on. Whoa. Whoa. Even also on top of that, somebody tried to take my life. But then even on top of that, he was a few hundred yards away from me. And I had people out there. Wait. Who's involved? Wait. You see what I'm saying? I would be doing all the math. Oh my God. You've seen that meme where it's all like red yarn all over the wall. I think it's from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? He's like, you see the conspiracy. He's all like cracked out because he's trying. You know what I mean? I feel like I'd be doing that. All of the lines, like, okay, and then he was the head of this, and then he was supposed to be doing the perimeter, and then, man, I'd be doing so much math. And I'd be like, okay, every single person that was involved, I need all their names, and I need to get all their asses in one room. Bring them all in one room. I'm going to hear their story. I'm going to hear it out, and then I'm going to fire them all. And we're going to start all over again. That's it. Heads will roll, in my personal opinion, after the adrenaline goes down. You know for a fact he's doing that right now. He's having the sober moment. He's having that sobering moment like, oh, damn. Somebody actually tried to take my life. Whoa. That's weird. That's wild. Can't believe it. You know? And he's probably doing all the math right now as we speak. But then, when we see him when people see him at the Republican National Convention, he's going to be out there just strutting like, I feel like there's going to be a DJ like, me, you know what I mean? Like fog machines and everything, laser lights and everything. Former president of these United States, Donald J. Trump, and everyone coming out, wow, you know what I mean? I'm waiting for it. You got Sexy Red twerking in the back on the side of the stage as he's coming out, you know what I mean? Just feeling himself. But right now, though, until that day, he's waking up, I'm sure, to a very sobering moment of, wow, somebody just tried to take my life, and wow, Secret Service, law enforcement, and any other entities that were involved in my security and in my safety messed up. I need to find out who these people are, why this guy was able to shimmy up the side of a building, bear crawl up on a roof, and take aim at my head. I want to know. Real talk. And I'm telling you right now, yeah, Cricket Day, the math ain't fully mathing. And it could very well just be as simple as this guy crawling up a building, getting on the thing, and law enforcement just being lackadaisical about this, right? The lack of comeuppance is absolutely insane, right? But then there's another part. Hence the reason why I played that little Candace Owens clip, because there's another side of the world that's looking at this and going, wait a second, is this an inside job? Could this be an inside job? Who wants to take him out like this? Why? Why do they want to take him out like this? That's insane. So hopefully at some point here, we're going to get some answers. I really need to know. I really, really want to know what this kid, what was his last 24 hours on this earth was. Was he prepping? Was he corresponding with somebody? Was he working with somebody else? Or did he do this as a lone wolf? That's the other thing too. Were there any political affiliations he was a part of? Is there anything political? Any reason? any motive that could be on why he did this. Could those motives be political, or was it just personal? Was it just a mental health issue and he just had it out for Trump, or not? I'm quite curious. But like I said, this is just terrible. This is terrible. And I agree with Trump. I mean, I agree with Biden, I'm sorry, with his recent address. He says we need to unite. I agree. This should not split us up. This should not make us further apart. You know, this should not create more of a distance between us as people and us as a country. We do need to come together a whole lot more. Okay? We most definitely do. Because this whole thing is absolutely terrible. I do want to share with you guys this, though, just so you can see it. They're taping off the area. I mean, this is all in the Bethel Park, Pennsylvania area in his neighborhood. Okay. But they are literally like taping things off, et cetera, because that whole house is now a crime scene. Okay. But I'm wondering, like I said, what was the last 24 hours like for Thomas Matthew Crooks? I really would love to know what that is all about. We'll see. But this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. Oh, man. But guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Okay. I'm keeping an eye on this. You know, for a fact, this is still developing. It's probably going to be bleeding into a Monday and Tuesday. I'm sure there's a lot going on. There's a lot of questions that still need to be answered. And I'm hoping that we get some more answers here soon. Now, I will say this, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, there is going to be another address by President Biden about all the things that are going on here. We will be talking about that. Hopefully, I'll be back in enough time to watch that with you guys. So be on the lookout for that. We will be watching that, whether if it's replay or watching it live. Just be sure to tune in and be a part of the conversation, okay? Real quick, I forgot these, but I'm sorry. Hollywood, thank you so much. Hollywood 2000, something like this hasn't happened since, I believe, Ronald Reagan, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's been a minute, you know, and it shouldn't have happened, right? But yes, you're right. Dolphin, thank you so much. If you Google Maps and use the little yellow Google guy, you'll see all sorts of pipes and AC units, etc., picnic table, garbage dumpster. There were a lot of ways to climb up. You know what? I'm going to look at that the next time when we go live. We'll take a look at that. Just send me a reminder for that, and I'll be sure to pull that up and show that with you guys and watch it with you guys as a family. But again, guys, before we head out, hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that follow button on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, crush that subscribe button over here on my main channel. Go over to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Please go crush that subscribe button over there. I will be taking clips from like this live show and putting it over there as well. I also do recaps and summarized videos whenever it has to do with a specific case that we are covering as well. So please go over to the secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips, show some love, subscribe over there, hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. And also make sure that your notification bell is set to all so you know whenever I upload, whenever I go live, because it is random. Lately, for a while, it has been random. Okay, so if you appreciate how I've been breaking the news to you guys and giving you guys these updates revolving around this and many more cases, please be sure to show some love. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. I'll be talking to you guys very soon. Please be careful out there. Love one another. Be kind to each other, please. Okay, like I always say, be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. That's really important now, more than ever, okay? We need to start loving each other, not hating each other, and learning to agree to disagree, okay? Take the mature route. We all need to do that. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. I'm going to say it again. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.